Today we're going to talk about estimating. Estimating can be found on the desktop using this icon up here to find the list of estimates for a job. On the iPad and iPhone, it's usually found under either estimates or scope. Every job, when opened on a mobile device, has a scope automatically created. And the intent is that this scope can eventually turn into an estimate. So I'm going to open up the scope on this job and we'll notice a couple of things right away. We have an opening statement up here that will be printed at the top of our estimates that are given to adjusters or homeowners. And then we have a closing statement that is printed on the last page of the estimate. Down here in the bottom left are our areas. An area is usually a room, but it can be, for example, exterior or something that is a non-room. So we have a generic name called area. And in this particular estimate, I have one room in here called the master bedroom. So I'm going to go ahead and open that up and we'll see that some line items have already been added. All the line items are in a database that you can control. You can control the unit price, the cost, and everything associated with that item. To add an item to an estimate or scope, we're going to click the Add Line Items, and then we are going to search and find the line item that we want to add to the list. So, for example, I can change my header and show me the equipment list, and these are the pieces of equipment that I have in my database. I can select one, click the Add button, and it will add that line item here to this list, and then I can fill in the numbers. So for example, if in this bedroom I had 3 air movers for 3 days, I would just fill in those 2 fields. It will automatically calculate out the total quantity for this room and adjust the room total down at the bottom. So that's as simple as it is to add line items. And again, this can be generated from the scope. So if your technicians out in the field are using this to scope each room and the activities that they completed in that room and the equipment that they added to that room, then your estimate can be automatically constructed for you. Once you're done with all of the rooms, you can either print this 3 ways. You can print a full invoice, which will show you the total estimate in a printable form like this. This would have your logo, your company name and information at the top. You would be able to cycle through the pages, and as we see here, there's the opening statement we talked about earlier. Here's the closing statement that we talked about earlier, along with all of our totals. So the full invoice shows us the quantities and the unit costs and the totals for each line item. One of the other reports available to us here is the customer total, which will not show us the individual totals. It will only show us the quantities that were used on the job. And the last one, production report, will only show us totals of quantity on each line item, but has no pricing in it at all and doesn't even show the opening or closing statement. So this is something that you could give to an external crew to go complete the work, et cetera, et cetera. So once an estimate is complete, you can actually create an invoice with it, and then this invoice can be pushed over to QuickBooks if you have that integration installed. In addition, you can have multiple estimates on a job, so you're able to duplicate an estimate. So for example, if a homeowner wanted to do some of the demo themselves and you wanted to give them an estimate for your part versus their part, you could create multiple estimates on the job and only invoice the ones that you choose. So that's a quick intro to estimating. Look forward to speaking to you individually if you have more questions.